no, I'm watching it tonight. I'm a pleasure delayer, so I try to wait to have that feeling. Like I can't watch it right away. I got to let it build. What are we going into?
Who's the last
Overnights?
person you saw get kicked out?
Maria.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, hi guys. Okay. How did that make me feel? Oh, I think he was completely justified in sending Maria home, and I love Maria. I think two things. I think one, you got to shit or get off the pot. And I get how nerve wracking things are, especially falling in love, but you have to just put yourself out there because you're also in a competitive space where other people are putting themselves out there. And I know that that's why you have fear about putting yourself out there, but you got to do it because now you're going to be sitting at home thinking, oh, if I said something to him, would things have turned out differently? And they probably would have. I also think that his worst fear, and he has said it over and over again, which is making me worried that this is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. He has been very vocal about, I'm going to pick someone who's not going to pick me back. So if she had one episode where she's like, I got to go. This is too hard for me. And then when she's with her family and him, and she just can't get the words out, yeah, you're holding back. So he's going to be worried that he's going to be up there with his dick in his hand going to propose and she's going to balk. She's just going to freeze in the moment. And I think his fears were validated, unfortunately, with her because I think she's rad. I also do think at the end of the day, she wasn't the right person for him. So I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I think maybe the reason she couldn't say how strongly she was feeling is because maybe she also subconsciously felt, hey, this isn't my guy, even though he's super cute and there's cameras everywhere and we just went to Niagara Falls and this is all really dreamy. That wasn't the lid for his pot or vice versa.
What about the conversation he had with her dad, though?
When you're the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, I think you have to have that same conversation with anyone's parents when you get to that point, which sounds ludicrous, but the show is ludicrous. The show is insane. Love the show, live for the show, will never stop watching the show, but it's nuts. And so you've got to know the family's on board because if this is the person you're going to propose to and actually get married, you have to feel confident in the fact that this is a family that you could spend the rest of your life with. And he didn't say, your daughter's the one, hot tip, your daughter's the one. I'm not going to even entertain getting close to anyone else because I know that she's it. He left it open enough that I think the dad understood, if I get to this point with your daughter, would you be okay with it? And I also think the dad answered it in a fabulous way when he was basically like, look, I trust Maria. I think she's an amazing, smart, capable woman. And if she's chosen you, I have to trust that she's chosen the right person. Because it does get a little dowry-esque in the asking of the hand for marriage. I think it's really sweet. But at a certain point, you're not trading a chicken and a cow for me. Like, I'm a grown woman who supports myself. And if you're asking my dad or my parents or just my mom for my hand in marriage, it's super respectful. I love the intention of it. I think you got to know that you're going to fit in with the family, that you like them, they like you, they're going to be accepting of you. Beyond that, like, he's got to ask everybody because at this point he has no idea who he's picking, or if he does, he hasn't told us because the producers told him not to tell us.
Do you really think they get this far and don't know out of 3 people who they might propose to in a week?
100%. I think you get this far into it, like you're the final 4, the final 3, and I think you are still mulling over in a panic. I would be schwitzing like from my eyelashes to my toes. I would be living in a pool of my own sweat. I would be so nervous about who I would pick because the whole situation is set up to make you fall in love. Like, one of my favorite things is when, it's some guy, like, let's say it's the Bachelorette and this guy has gone out with this girl and he's just doing his one-on-one talking about how this is the greatest date of my life. I've never felt these feelings. This person's amazing. I'm not in love yet, but I'm definitely falling. This process really works. Like, they're saying all the things that we know that we love them to say. But it's like, of course, you just went sledding with the Jamaican bobsled team. I don't really think you're doing that in your normal life as a personal trainer in Wisconsin. Okay. So, like, of course you're falling in love with this person. You would fall in love or at least deep like with anyone who has been styled, professional makeup. This isn't a real date. A real date is like, oh my God, I met you in the parking lot of my grocery store, or we met at work, or friends introduced us. Hey, do you want to go grab a drink at happy hour? That's a normal date. A normal date isn't riding two Arabian horses in the middle of nowhere and then stumbling upon a hot tub with chocolate covered strawberries and a bottle of champagne next to it. So if you're not having some sort of feeling, maybe the call is coming from inside the house, and maybe it's something to do with you, because you're set up to fall in love. It's like a trick question. So I do think when you get to the final four, I think before that, yeah, you're going out on dates with people and you're like, sure, maybe they might surprise me, but I know this isn't my person. I think when you've boiled it down to 3 people, specifically the last 2, you're in there running the scenarios of, okay, in my normal life, this is who I would have picked. Historically, like if I look at my dating history, this is who I've gone for. But also, that's why I'm here, because my dating history hasn't served me. I haven't ended up with any of these people. So even though I really love this person, is it going to end up like every other relationship has ended up? And then you look at the other option, and this is no one you would have ever picked, and they make you feel so different, and you discover different parts of yourself, right? But then you're thinking, but maybe they're too outside of my comfort zone. Maybe this is a bridge too far for me. And I see how you could get yourself in this mind fuck of, do I go with what I think is comfortable, but that's never worked before? Or do I go with what is completely new, and I've never been in a relationship like this, but is this just going to be short-lived because there's a reason I've never picked this person? Because if I look back on like everyone I've dated and all of the experiences that I've had, really the only through line is everyone was an original. Everyone has been so distinctly their own person. I fall in love with people who don't follow trends, who aren't trying to be somebody else. They're like, yeah, I'm weird, I'm here, I'm queer. Like, what do you want from me? They're all kind of outliers in that sense. I could see if I was put in a room with all of these people, because they're also sourcing from the entire country. So I don't believe there's just one person for everybody. I think that you could fall in love with multiple people. And I think that when you have a great selection of people, and also, again, everyone looks perfect. You're not in their home. You're not seeing these little quirks of theirs. So it's so much harder to delineate who you could live a full functioning, like happy forever life with, and who you're going to get into the real world and be like, wow, you never make your bed, and that drives me crazy. Or, you know, you're on your phone with your mom for 3 hours a day, and that's going to drive me bonkers, or whatever it is, because you're not in fucking reality. So yes, I do think you could get to the final 3 and still not know who the one is.
Tell me who you think wins, and if it's different, who you want to win.
Okay. If I had gun to my head and I had to pick one of them right now, I'm picking, I think her name is Daisy, the blonde, to be the winner. Because I feel like there's something about her for him that is a little damsel in distress-ish. Like, he wants to be needed, and she needs to know in a very real world sense that, God forbid, if I fell ill again, you're going to take care of me, want to take care of me. And I think he wants to be needed like that, because if his biggest fear is someone's not going to choose me back, someone who wants someone to always be there and to always be able to help and really be a partner in that respect, I feel like that he finds comfort in that. And for some reason, I think that computes to him as, oh, you're never going to leave me. Like, there's stability here. So that's who I'm putting my money on. Who do you think's winning?
I think Kelsey's winning.
And Kelsey's the one with the Barbie hair, right?
Yeah. I don't see the spark between him
and Daisy.
Yeah. Who Mike calls Iron Man. She's like superpowers.
She has superpowers. I'm with you. I don't necessarily see, I almost feel like he's in love with the idea of Daisy. But so I'm a week behind just because I am a pleasure delayer. So I wait, they air it on Monday, and I wait till the weekend to watch it because I love falling in love again with all of these people. Because I really get into the show on that level. I live for the connection that him and Kelsey have. I'm just worried, is she going to fall into the bucket of, okay, this is really different than anyone I've dated before. Like, I think Kelsey is in the different bucket, and I think Daisy's in the familiar bucket. And so and I always pick the wrong person. I always pick but you have fucking sparks with this person. When you're kissing them, I'm reliving a kiss. Like, it's that palpable for me when the people have chemistry on this show. And by the way, this means nothing. You could have amazing chemistry with someone and not end up with them. But I feel that with him and Kelsey. I don't feel that as much with him and Daisy. I feel like there's more of a reserved tone to their relationship. But not for nothing, some people find comfort in that. Some people don't want fireworks. Like, that makes them nervous. And I'm just nervous that he's that guy, and that's why he won't pick Kelsey. If I was picking, even though I think Daisy's wonderful, I would pick Kelsey. Just because I don't know. I think there's something about her that makes him nervous, that makes him feel like, oh my God, do I deserve someone like her? Or if we were in the real world, would someone like this even pick me? And I think all of that is super exciting. And it's like, yeah, rise to the occasion, bro.
Okay. Who do you think is going to be the Bachelorette?
Wait a minute. Let's talk about who do we think is going to be the Bachelorette, but can we also talk about who's going to be the Golden Bachelorette? I loved the Golden Bachelor. Oh my God. I just thought it was so great. I thought the camaraderie with all of the women was so touching. It really does show that it's not a given that with age comes wisdom, but I think hopefully the majority of us, as we get older, we become less indignant and less competitive with things that really don't matter. We can't all end up with Gary. So who would be the Golden Bachelorette? I mean, honestly, the runner-up, whose name I can't remember, she would make an amazing Golden Bachelorette. I also think the woman who was the blonde pickleballer from Florida, I would really like to see her as the Golden Bachelorette. And as far as who would be the next Bachelorette, I want to say Maria, but I just don't think it could happen because I feel like she's too nervous. For some reason, I feel like she's too nervous to commit. The fact that she's 31, I think, and she's never brought anyone home, I get it. I've only brought 2 guys home, and they were both my boyfriends, and I've only ever had 2 boyfriends. So I understand being really serious and thoughtful when you're bringing someone home. So it's not like you're the boy who cried wolf bringing a new, oh my God, this is my person into the mix every other month with your family. But that's extreme. And I think that tells me I don't know if she's really ready to open herself up and go the distance with someone yet. So I'm going to say no to Maria. Let me tell you something. If he doesn't pick Kelsey, 100% Kelsey. I would watch that every day, twice on Sunday. Daisy's so sweet, but I wonder if they pick her, if it's just going to be a snooze fest. When you pick the overly sweet bachelors or bachelorettes, it's there's no edge. I just don't feel anything. I'm just kind of okay, fine. It's why you could say what you want about Nick Viall, but he was great TV.
I fucking love Nick Viall.
I love Nick Viall. I'm saying it. It's imprinted digitally forever, okay? I love Nick Viall. I think he came to play. I think he actually has interesting shit to say. Every once in a while, I'll listen to the Viall Files. I like it. I like the questions he asks. I like how he bucks the trends of, what other people want him to do or think he should do. And yes, is he out for clout a little bit, or does he like the limelight? 100%. That's why he signed up for the show. I think that's obvious. So I'm not mad at him for it. If he wanted to be some, more private, unknown person, he'd have a private Instagram account and he never would have signed up for the show 3 times and then gone on the fucking Bachelor in Paradise and then started a podcast. He wants to be in the limelight. By the way, thank God we need people to entertain us. So I'm here for you, Nick. Okay, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your girl. I'm happy for your baby, your podcast, all of it. And it looks like you did find love and you were here for the right reasons. Okay. I love him.
Oh my God, same.
But he was an amazing bachelor.
I know.
Right?
I am maybe one of the hottest ones.
Oh!
I thought he was so cute.
He is soups cute. By the way, this new guy is so cute. He has so much game. For the fellas listening, okay, When he pulled this move, one of the girls is like being kind of shy and saying how she feels about him. And she says it a little bit under her breath, like, I'm falling in love with you. And she says it so coyly that he's like, oh, what? And he leans in for a kiss. And then he says to her, say it again. I am sweating. I had to rewind it. I sent this to people, like a video clip of it, because it was so good. And it's like, yes. Say it again. He's so good. And he has game, and he's showing us like where he's nervous, where he's vulnerable. I feel like I'm blushing, like where he's vulnerable. And I'm here for that. I don't need the person trying to play it all perfect. Perfect is boring. Okay. Nothing in life is flawless. So when you show me I'm nervous about something, I'm scared about something, all of a sudden I'm just like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And I want to help you and love you and blow you. So, gentlemen, that's like, girls like that, okay? I'm sure it transcends all sexual orientations. You heard it here first. Hot tip. Just the tip. All the tips. Sorry, I can't stop. I'm not even drunk. This is like 3/4 of the way full. I love this show, by the way. I will never stop watching it. When my grandmother was alive, it was my first phone call every day. That's how my day started. It was with a phone call from Jo. That was her name. And we lived for The Bachelor, Bachelorette, all things Bachelor Nation. And when my grandmother passed away, my mom tried to get into it to like fill that void for me. And she just couldn't do it. She's like, this is ridiculous. And I would never, if God forbid your dad goes before I do, I'd never sign up for one of these shows. I'm not begging someone to pick me. You pick me because I'm great. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I didn't know you had this kind of confidence, Mom. By the way, probably why she bagged a great guy at 19 and they've been married for over 50 years happily. But I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, I know all of the things that you're saying are true, but you have to put that aside so that you can fall in love with a complete stranger while he's dating 20 other women. Like, we're not in reality now, Mom. And Jo and I could do that. And we would yenta it up about everyone on there, who we thought was cute, who we needed to go, who was a troublemaker. And if you can just you just turn a part of your brain off so that you can enjoy these shows. And it is a gift. Like, you get to go through the gamut of emotions. One time I took too much of an edible and I was watching this show. It turns out my limit's 15 milligrams. Okay, guys. And I took 35. And I was high. Okay. I've never been that high since before. Thank God. I can't hang like that. And, I'm watching the show, and because I'm in the process of getting really stoned, I didn't realize it was happening while it was happening. So all of a sudden, when you're high, like you just kind of zone in on one thing, you get like fixated on it. So now I'm fixated on The Bachelor, and I'm watching this episode. It's like towards the end, so now shit's getting very intense. And it was The Bachelorette. So one guy, we're watching the date. He was hilarious to me. I'm literally side-splitting laughter. I'm having pains from laughing so hard. I'm like, this guy is a comedian. He is the funniest person I've ever saw. Like, step aside, Chris Rock. Here comes so-and-so from The Bachelorette. Then the next date, they're connecting so deeply. I'm sobbing. I'm having flashbacks of every time I've fallen in love. I'm like, no, this is the one. This is... He loves her, so he sees who she is, and she can be herself with him. I'm not well. And then I realized that I'm having this roller coaster of emotion because I'm so stoned. But my point still remains the same. Even if you're totally sober, if you can just, like I said, click that part of your brain off where you're like, this isn't going to last. They're not going to get married. By the way, some of them do. You get to go on that ride of, oh my God, I remember when I met my boyfriend and we had our first date and it was amazing. Or I remember when I fell in love with someone. Or God, I can't wait to have that feeling again. And it just feels so good. You get to live vicariously through these people. And I'm fucking here for it on all levels. Bachelor in Paradise, Golden Bachelor, Bachelor, Bachelorette. Sign me up for all of it till the day I die. Okay? I hope when I get to the pearly gates, God asks Courtney, will you accept this rose? Okay, that's how much I love it. I love it.